Howdy. So, we all know what happened last week for the election, and I've been working hard to put that out of my mind. Over the next 4 years, you will never hear me use the P word for the guy who got elected. Matter of fact, as much as I can, I don't want to know anything that happens over the next 4 years after he gets in office because I know it's going to be a mess. It's just going to be a mess. I don't want to thank you people who voted this man in, but I do want to talk to you just briefly before I get to the rest of what I want to say. You don't deserve to be getting beaten up by as many people who are beating you up. You do, however, need to know why you're getting beaten up, because that seems to be the overriding thing that I am seeing on social media. People don't understand how come everyone is mad at them and how come people don't want to let go and why they're getting beaten up. I'm going to tell you why. You need to know why. I can't believe you don't understand this. In essence, what you have done is you have supported someone who basically was elected because he played to the base instincts of this country. He played on bigotry. Understand what bigotry is to minorities like me. He basically let you guys have free reign. Have you seen what has happened to some people around the country this week? Have you seen what has happened to some vets who, because they're not white, have been denied personal rights and respect, who were veterans, people who fought for this country? Here in the Syracuse area, there have been two racial incidences. One where the N-word was written on some school property. Kids, young kids, 5 to 9-year-olds. And Heil Hitler, along with Nazi symbols, was written on the walls of a Jewish cemetery in the area. This is happening all over the country, but this is right here in the Syracuse area. That's number one. Number two, you got a guy who seems to not necessarily understand that you don't get to take the office and still run your own private business, which is what he's trying to do. He also has a lawsuit coming up against him and a possible charge of being a pedophile or underage, soliciting an underage woman. I don't really know exactly what we're calling that, but you got two very interesting things. And number three, the stuff that he said about women. Now, there were a lot of women who came to his defense saying, well, I've heard things like that being said by women, and I've heard things like that being said by men. No, you haven't, because you weren't listening. What he said was because he was rich and powerful, he could do whatever he wanted to with women. Now, there's a lot of men who talk a lot of trash. There certainly are, but they're talking trash. Because in general, a lot of men seem to think that they have this authority over women, so they think they can get away with anything. But they don't. They think they can, but they don't. But this guy here basically thought he could because he was rich. And he told everybody, because I'm rich and powerful, I can do whatever I want to with women, including his own daughter. Y'all heard the thing. I didn't make this up. So that's why people are mad at you. That's why they're calling you these names. I don't know that the overwhelming majority of you deserve to be called these names. Some people definitely do. But the overwhelming majority, I don't think so. And I came to that conclusion this past Saturday when I went with my wife to the farmer's market, downtown Syracuse area. And I realized that the overwhelming majority of people who were selling stuff there were not from Syracuse, but they were from the outer areas, which overwhelmingly voted for this guy. And yet, they were friendly. No one looked at me badly. Of course, there were a whole lot of minorities there, and this is New York State, so you're not going to last very long if you do that in New York, which, by the way, I found quite interesting that candidate for president won and only got, what, maybe 30% of the vote in his home state? Has that ever happened before in history? I don't know. So anyway, this part of the video is for you folks who are wondering why everyone is mad at you. Now, here's part two. How come they won't let it go? The election is over. How come we can't let it go? Well, let's think about this. When did the Civil War end? 1865? How many people are still walking around with Confederate flags? You lost. You lost badly. And you're still walking around with Confederate flags. What is that? 150 years? Yeah, let it go. How many of you cursed the, oh my God, what are those ladies called? The Dixie Chicks. When in 2003, they were in England and they said, we're not happy with the guy who's president either. And you beat them up. You basically shut down their career. And you did the exact same thing 5 years later when Barack Obama was running for president. Not even when he was president yet, when he was running for president. And the 8 years he's been president, you beat him up with some of the worst, vile, racist stuff I've ever seen. And tried to say, oh, but I'm not. You tried to make this man out to be Muslim, which to me, big deal. But to you, it was some big deal. But he was obviously Christian. But you made up your stuff because you had someone named Barack and Obama, and you weren't used to that. I wasn't used to that, at least the name, but so what? So that's number two. But here's number three. I almost quit social media last week. I knew Tuesday morning that something was going to happen. You know, the gut tells you. The spidey senses tells you, you know something's going to happen. And afterwards, I almost quit social media because 3 weeks leading up to the rest of the election, I stopped putting down anything as it related to the election. I said, you know what? I'm not getting caught up in it. I don't want to get mad at anyone anymore. I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to get just whatever the term is. I just didn't want any of it. After the election, when I was kind of depressed, I'm not going to lie, I was depressed. And my wife talked to me and she said, maybe you need to eliminate a few more things. And I did. And I'm linking to the blog post so I don't have to say all the stuff I did. But in essence, what I'm basically looking to do is find a way to redirect myself to my own happiness and my own success. And sometimes it means muting a few things. Right now, for instance, I can't watch Philip DeFranco. And I love to watch Philip DeFranco's channel, but I can't watch it because he keeps talking about the thing, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know who the cabinet might be. I don't want to know what any of those other people don't want to know. I just don't. I don't care. People think I say that and that I really do care. No, I really don't. If the world goes bad because of the actions of the United States, I don't care. As long as it doesn't affect me in my home area, I don't care. And I know I'm pretty safe. So I don't care. I don't care who he names as Secretary of State, Secretary of Interior. I don't care. I don't care if the economy crashes. I don't care if pollution grows. I don't care if global warming. I don't care. Obviously, there was nothing I could do about it. I don't even know, as I'm sitting here right now, if I'm voting again for the next 4 years. I don't care right now. I want peace. Some of the people who are getting beaten up right now, they want peace. I wish you peace. I'm trying not to be mad at anybody, but I'm trying also not to find out what people were doing. I've done a lot of stuff over the last week trying to clear away a lot of negative stuff that was coming my way. And if you look at the blog post, you'll find out the biggest one was getting rid of news sources. Oh my goodness, I hadn't realized just how much news was popping in on me that I was subscribing to, that I've had to remove. I never I never thought about it. Because it wasn't just election stuff. It's all this other stuff that's out there. The bad things that happen to children and the bad things that happen to people in other countries. I don't care. Next 4 years, I don't care. Maybe even 4 years from now, I'm not going to care. But we'll find out about that later on. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, let's stop kind of beating up on each other. But if it's not going to stop, at least now you can't say you don't understand why. And if you say it, you're lying. Yes, I'm calling it out. You're lying. You know why you're getting beaten up. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. You should have expected it. I certainly did. That's why I stopped putting it out there. And that's why I stopped trying to read it. It's so nice when you're privileged enough not to understand how the other side's going to feel. Yeah, I'm ending with that. Y'all take care. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.